Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Wolves of Shadowed Fate. Episode 9. Chapter 48 to 53. Chapter 48. Alpha Graham's POV. Reagan has really gone too far this time. She thinks that she is ready for all this. To be the Luna, to run this pack, and she is not. That is glaringly clear to me now. I am so disappointed in her. The 2 times that she branched out to do things on her own, they have all come crashing down around us. Make that 3 times. She lied right to my face that Justin had rejected Raven. I would have never allowed her to drug Justin if I had known. That was the beginning of the end. She is just as ruthless as I am. Her innocent, beautiful face makes people believe that she is incapable of that level of deception. Hell, she even had me fooled on some of those occasions. She is very good at lying, right to your face. I probably believed her because she is my daughter, and I would do anything for her. I want to be able to trust her. The deception is for others, not for her to use on me. She doesn't even know half of it yet. There is more. I have already seen the proof. It is going to be sent to the council too. I am about 80% sure that we will be at war soon. She will probably never actually take over this pack because it probably won't exist soon. That is going to be on her. Something big would end up having to happen, to stop the council's investigation. I could not imagine what that would have to be, to get it stopped. Alpha Cole is pretty pissed, and rightfully so. I messed up. Reagan, I know you planted the seed for Cheryl to come up with this plan. Cheryl is a follower, she followed her dad, and now you. She isn't good enough to start things on her own. Do not throw her under the bus. Her dad is training my warriors, and we need him. We need every man that can train to do so. Do not do anything else. I am not joking with you when I say that unless something significant happens, we will be at war with Bloodwalker and Blackadder soon. They are both willing to fight to protect Raven. You have to stop. No matter what happens. Because if you don't, our little pack will be finished. I have ordered extra supplies and will be ordering extra from now on until they are at our gates. But if you hear nothing else that is said in here today, hear this: Raven is off limits to you anymore. If you do anything else that is unsanctioned by me again, you will no longer be the Luna of this pack, I told her. I can see the shock on her face. She realizes that there is no room for her to play around anymore. Dad, she whispers to me, and I know that she heard me this time. She knows that I am serious. I have done nothing but train her for this role, for her to be Luna. I even stacked the deck in her favor, doing whatever I could do to keep Raven from being able to take it over. If I am being honest, I would have made completely sure Raven didn't. It was Reagan's birthright and Raven didn't deserve it. I would have been willing to do that for Reagan. But everything is different now. Raven is known to others now, and it is too late. It would have been much easier to get rid of her when only our pack knew about her. So, Reagan will just have to stop. She has to know how serious this is. Where we are right now is not solid ground. You have to stop whatever you are planning on doing next, Reagan. I know you are coming up with a doozy. Because you can't leave her alone. Can you not see that you have had a wonderful life compared to hers? Leave her, and her new mate alone. This can cause tension between them, and we don't need our pack involved in it. We need to stay out of it and keep our heads down. We need to pray that we only get a fine, because if Cole gets the go-ahead to attack, the 4 of us, and probably Cheryl and her dad, will be first on the chopping block. That will be it for us, I tell her, and I see Justin shift uncomfortably. Yes, it is hard to hear, but he has to realize that what he did to Raven may have his head on the chopping block along with us. Brandon tore up our treaty, and I got several calls today, some from friends, that told me they were sorry, but they couldn't go against Brandon. We never had one with Bloodwalker, as you both can imagine. So we only have treaties with about 6 more packs, that we still have. Everyone else sided with Brandon. I cannot decide if it would be better to step down now, to see if Justin can try to get the other packs back or not. But I know already that it wouldn't work with Brandon. He will just look at Justin as competition for Raven, and he will not agree to him either, I told them, and I see Justin grin at the competition comment. I hope he still realizes that no matter what he wants, he is still bound to Reagan. I just hope that Raven was not seriously injured in all this. I thought that you said last night that you were going to wait for something to happen, Reagan. You didn't even wait 12 hours. Nothing you say can be believed. There should be 3 people here that you don't lie to Reagan. You shouldn't lie to your parents or me. I don't care if you lie to everyone else, please just tell us the truth. We cannot fix it if we don't know. So next time, and we all know there will be a next time, just come clean. It will give us extra time to think of a way out of it. Please think of the pack, and at least your parents before the next time around, Justin tells Reagan, and he is right. At the very least she needs to be honest with us. I agree with Justin, next time around Reagan, please don't make us pull it out of you. Just tell us so we can get a head start on stopping the flow of blood from our pack. Time is of the essence if there is a big problem on the horizon, I told her. I heard a phone ping and they both checked their phones, but it wasn't for Reagan, it was for Justin. I see him smile, a real one, not the fake one that he gives us, and then puts his phone away again. I see Reagan look back toward me, and she was looking serious, but I can see her pinching her thigh to keep from smiling. Something is up with her. Goddess, Reagan cannot stop herself. She is going to be the end of the freaking pack. How can she care so little for our pack? It has been in our family for almost 200 years. This is my fault. I was too vain, and wanted to have better than the goddess was giving me. This is punishment for rejecting my true mate in my vanity, and stealing Cole's mate away from him. I made choices, bad ones, that I shouldn't have, and they are coming back to bite me in the *s now. I need to send Justin away, and speak to Reagan alone. She won't admit it in front of Justin, as clearly he is part of her plan. I need to know what is happening. She needs to get the fact that she can't just do whatever she wants in life, there are consequences. We spoke a little longer and after a second text, which also made him smile. I told him that I would like to speak to Reagan in private. I am sure that he would like to leave, and I am really worried about who it could be that he was getting texts from. Did he meet his second chance mate? What about Reagan? Surely he can't be willing to leave us when war is on the horizon. What better time to leave a pack, than before a war? My wolf Tyuko asked me through our link. I have to agree. He is right. There is no better time. I am just glad he hasn't tried to kill Reagan, to get out of his contract, I linked back. I was honestly glad, they are not getting along well at all. He read the contract, and he was aware of all the loopholes. Things that I didn't think of when I wrote it. Things were going great for them when I originally wrote it. The only clause I had included was in case he changed his mind. I didn't know if or when he would meet his true mate. I knew that a true mate could mark over a chosen mate's mark. So my contract only had a 5-year time frame, and what would happen to his family if he didn't go through with it. I never thought that he would refuse to do anything other than play along. He is doting on her in public, but he refuses to do what she wanted most. I needed him to do that as well. Her bearing his pups would be the solution to our problems. Reagan would calm down, he would relax too, and she can't get pregnant without him. She could, but she knows it has to be his child. He will not accept another man's child as his own. I should know, I have first-hand knowledge of that. So we are at a stalemate. He is not going to give up on this. He doesn't want Reagan anymore, even though his bond with Raven is not intact. I cannot force him, and he knows better than to sign another contract. He got burnt the first time, he won't fall for it again. I can't do anything to punish him for it, as he is compliant in everything that was noted. There are no threats that I can give him that can make him do what it is that we want him to do. I am just glad that he is not as vicious as Reagan is in this. Because she would have no qualms about killing him off and finding another mate that would do her bidding. In that, she is much worse than me, as she has no real loyalties to anyone. Justin, if you don't mind, I would like to speak to Reagan a little longer. You are excused if you would like to leave, I told him, and I can see him look over at Reagan like he was trying to decide something, before getting up to leave my office. He nodded at me on the way out, but he completely ignored Reagan when he left. I let out a deep breath, and then leaned back in my chair and looked at Reagan. She was just beautiful, just like her mother, with my baby blue eyes making her look like an innocent doll. She could play just about anyone with her pure looks. It was how she was able to get Justin in the first place. I knew he was interested in her, we had to play a little dirty to get him to agree. Justin is a good guy, he gets along with others, and he doesn't like to rock the boat. He likes things to go smoothly. He is physically strong but unwilling to take chances. Especially if he thinks that he will be outnumbered. He lacks confidence, he needs to work on that. I knew all that, and so I knew he was the perfect person for Reagan to go after. He is just young, and most things he needs to improve on will come with experience as he ages. We just had to make him believe that Raven, the most worthless member of the pack, was his mate. Who would have known it was true? He was all in on rejecting her if she was. So many things went wrong that fateful night, it was the perfect storm to create this horrible mess that we are currently dealing with. Reagan sits there with a small smile on her face, as she patiently waits for me to speak. She knows better than to just offer it up. I smiled back and tried to figure out why she hates Raven so much. It just doesn't make sense. Reagan had every single thing she could want growing up, and Raven had the bare necessities, hand-me-downs, very little. What could make her hate Raven so much that she was willing to try again and again to hurt her? Reagan, I know that you are planning something. We need to talk, because I am serious. One more thing and we will be at war with two very strong packs. Why do you hate Raven so much? I just don't get it, you had everything that you ever wanted. What does Raven have that you could possibly want? I asked her. I really wanted to know the reason myself. It just didn't make any sense. She looks just like me, Dad, except, she got the exotic looks. Every one of my boyfriends wanted to be with her, instead of me. I was pretty and beautiful, but she was gorgeous, exotic, her eyes are so beautiful, and Raven is the most beautiful girl in the pack. It wasn't true, we look just the same. I am gorgeous too. Because I look like a porcelain doll, she got the better side of the coin with her black hair, and green eyes. It made me sick. All of the guys wanted her, but they weren't strong enough to go against the pack to try to ask her out. I may have been the favored twin, but I knew in the hearts of the guys that I wanted, she was the one that they wanted. At first, it was only because I wanted to be Luna, but after I started getting boyfriends it changed. I wish I had killed her on that bridge. Then I wouldn't feel inferior to her at all. Seeing her come down the stairs all made up for her party. I swear if I have been able to change Brandon's drink from being roofed to poison I would have. She keeps getting quality men, and I got a warrior. It just isn't fair, Dad, Reagan told me, and I am shocked. She told me honestly why she hated Raven so much. They were both beautiful, in different ways. I could see where that would make Reagan a little jealous. I get it, we want what we want, Reagan. I had a warrior for a mate too, and I agree, she wasn't good enough for me either. That is the whole reason I chose your mom. She is gorgeous, and we still have a great relationship. I care for her a lot, and no one else is good enough to be my mate, my Luna, only Cassandra is good enough to be mine. But you are gorgeous, you are perfection, and you do not need to ever doubt yourself. I don't want to lose you over a petty rivalry, or in case we get attacked. I love you, and your mother with my whole heart. It would kill me to see something happen to either of you. Please stop whatever plans you are making, and just think about the greater good, for us, and the pack. So many innocent lives are at stake here, honey. Please, please, for me and your mother. Don't do anything else that would end up hurting the pack, I beg her. She needs to see the bigger picture, she needs to think about us all in this. Not just getting back at her sister. Wait, just a second, Dad. Let me ask you this. Earlier, you said that something significant would have to happen to stop the war that was coming, right? Reagan asked me. Yes, it would have to be huge, I told her. This will be huge, Dad. I can guarantee it. I can also guarantee that it will not involve Silverblade at all. Also, that if any war is started, it would be just between Bloodwalker and Blackadder. We wouldn't have any part in it. They wouldn't be able to trace it back to us, other than to Justin. I am okay with that. He isn't doing what I want him to anyway. He is really being an *s about sleeping with me, or are making pups together. My not being able to sleep with my other guys is killing me. But I know I have to wait until I get pregnant. I am trying, Dad, but it has been 3 weeks now, and I don't know how much longer I can go. I wouldn't mind getting someone else to be my next chosen mate. I already have my eyes on a few guys, Reagan told me. This gets my interest. How is that possible? I like Justin, but Reagan is right, he isn't falling in line like we both thought he would. He is fighting us at every turn, and I agree, she needs to pick a guy that she can control better, because Justin is not going to listen to us anymore. She sees me lean forward in my chair, and she cannot wait to spill her idea. I am shocked at the details that she has thought of, she really did think of everything with this plan. I felt so proud of her. We only need a few tweaks to it, and it will never point back to us. She is right, it only leaves Justin twisting in the wind. It does take us out of the equation, and the best part of it is that it leaves Cole and Brandon fighting each other, with no time to even look at us. They can kill off some of their pack, leaving them more vulnerable, and then when Cole does try to get back to us, we should be well trained, and our numbers closer to each other, than him having over double what my pack has. My baby girl will be happy, as she may get what she has always wanted, and that is to be an only child. She is right, Raven may not be able to survive this time around. Chapter 49 Reagan's POV. I have literally been waiting for weeks for this day. Justin still hasn't touched me, despite my best efforts. But he has been texting his *s off to Raven, who just happened to be me. I am thoroughly enjoying telling him how I missed him. How I am not treated well by Brandon. Implying that we can get together soon, and he is eating it up. He is absolutely convinced of everything that Raven had said to him. It is like every time she shot him down, had not happened. I cannot understand it. She rejected him, and he accepted it. He may not have wanted to, but why was he holding on to her so tightly? Why couldn't he let her go? I was his mate, I bore his mark despite how it got there, and he belonged to me, not her. My fury at his continued love for Raven makes me want to hurt him like he hurt me. I always wanted him, he was supposed to be mine now. I forced myself to calm back down. Oh, I will be hurting him, I just have to bide my time. I have been practicing how to speak like Raven. It was not easy, I even went to a voice coach to do the best I could. I would have to say something to him, to be convincing, so I went all out with this. The perfect plan, and the only person who could possibly be hurt by it, is Justin. Well, and Raven too. I know that Brandon had been hurt several years ago, we all knew about it. It was a big scandal at the time. The rumor was all over the place when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I remember it because I had a crush on him, and he was so cute, how could she have done that to him? I had wished he would have been mine, and that pisses me off even more. Raven doesn't even have to try, the goddess gives her everything. It just wasn't right. Dad was proud of me for this plan, yes, the first couple of tries had flaws in them. He was right, I needed him to help me think through everything. In fact, he was the one who sent me to the voice coach and gave me a few DVDs of us, so the coach could hear how Raven spoke, to get me as close to her voice as I could get. I told the voice coach that I was planning on pranking my twin sister by looking and sounding like her, and he thought that would be a funny prank. She will wish that it was only going to be a prank on her. Thankfully, our carefully laid plans ended up working out. Cheryl finally got a call last night, and it was from a friend at Blackadder. The girl had heard Raven and Stella in the dining room, talking about their spa day tomorrow, and that is perfect. We even had a time frame on their trip too. I went ahead and booked the hotel, and got my plans in motion. I wanted Justin to be able to leave our pack with no problems, and not have to explain it to me. So I was going to leave early in the morning, so he can just slip out with no worries. I told him that I had a hair appointment at 10 and then lunch with friends. He knew that meant that I would be home for dinner, so he had plenty of time. I already had my bag packed, and ready to go. There was only one thing I needed to do, and that was the last step. One that I couldn't do before like the rest of it. I needed to get my stylist to color my hair. We had discussed it, and I told her I just wanted to try it out, but that I wasn't sure that I wanted it to stay that color. She had a semi-permanent color for me to use for the test. It would work, and I also had some clip extensions put in, as Raven's hair was longer than mine. I had left no room for error, as the penalty for being discovered would result in death for me. But since I left no room for me to be discovered, it was foolproof. There was no chance at all of me being discovered, or involved in it. Once Brandon sees the video of Raven in bed with Justin, the proof would be in his face, and his anger at Raven will immediately take over. I don't think that my precious sister is going to survive this one. This is going to be a good day. I head out with a smile on my face. I have things to do, and while I am getting the temporary color on my hair, my stylist knows that I will be back by 3:30. She knew that I needed her to remove the extensions, and wash my hair until the original color was back. She doesn't really care why, as long as I pay her well. I don't want any proof of my deception coming back home with me. I plan on Justin not even knowing what is going on, if I can swing it. He was pretty familiar with my body at one point. I don't know if this will work out or not. I am worried that if Justin catches on, he might hurt me before I can get away. But I am committed to this. I am just praying that he is so excited to get his hands on his dream girl, that he doesn't notice that it is actually me. Raven and I have a similar build, so I already know that helps. With my hair, extensions, and green contacts, I will be her twin, literally. I am amazed by the transformation when she is done with me. I look beautiful, and if I didn't need to make sure that I was back to normal when I got back to Silver Blade, I might have kept it until it washed out. I did look just like Raven, and with the contacts, I will be Raven. I am so happy. I had already sent the first text from Raven when I got to the salon at 9:45. I was telling Justin about how Brandon had upset me, and that we were fighting. He immediately took the bait. He wanted to comfort me so badly. But I have to wait. I sent another one at 11 a.m. when I went to the store to grab a box of condoms. I told him about how the fight was over him. He quickly responded back to ask if I still had feelings for him. It was upsetting to see him responding so quickly, and so lovingly to the texts. It hurt my heart, but he thinks it is Raven, and he is completely different in dealing with her than he is me. He barely answers my texts, and he is rarely nice to me. The only good thing to come out of this is going to be getting a good session out of him. I missed him. He was really good, especially since I was his first. Always up for it between us, until he touched her. That was the beginning of the end. I have to wait until I calm down to text him back, that Raven still does have feelings for him. I clenched my steering wheel, and my anger takes over. I swear, it is always Raven messing up everything. She always has, and that is what makes this even sweeter. Raven will end up looking like a slut, as I will make sure this gets out. Justin will take the fall for it. Goddess willing, Brandon will end up killing them both. Maybe I can fall into Brandon's arms for comfort as I lost my mate, as Justin will have betrayed me as well. If I play my cards right, I can just recreate my look for today, and act like I had just come up with it. Maybe I can get him to fall in love with me. Silver Blade is weak, and I wouldn't mind being the Luna to Blackadder. I was born to be the Luna of a strong pack. That would work out even better. I will keep that part to myself. Dad would probably be really offended to hear that. But the best part is I would have gotten rid of the two people that I hate the most, Raven and Justin. I get to the hotel, change into my other clothes and take my clothes and bag, back out to my car. I also put the other items in the trunk as well. I drove my car to another location, as I can't take the chance of Justin seeing it. I have a personalized tag, Spluna, so he would know instantly that I was here if he saw it. I smile as I think that with luck, it could be changed to Baluna soon. I walked back and hid my keys and my phone. He will recognize them. I sent my last text asking him to come to my hotel, gave him the room number, and implied that I needed him badly, and implied that I was in danger. The swift response from him made me even angrier. I calmed myself down by telling myself that he needed to be all in on this. That would sell the show for him to be calling my sister's name out passionately. His calling out her name, and the video would be the complete downfall for Raven. I got the last piece ready. I bought 2 cameras. They look like adapters that plug in an outlet to charge up your phone. Everyone has them lying around and you just ignore them when you see them. I got 2 of them, as everything that happens today will be recorded. I will be evidence and proof of Raven's traitorous act. The second camera was just in case of a problem, or glitch with the first one. I plugged them in on either side of the bed. Cheryl was waiting for me to text her. She was going to bring my laptop, and we were going to copy the video from the SD card into my laptop, and then email it to Brandon. He will have to watch it, just from the title alone, and Raven will be done at that time. It is the perfect plan. There is still time to leave. You really don't need to do this. I don't think this is going to work, my wolf, Lena, tells me. She is never behind anything that I do. She has no faith at all in me. I rolled my eyes at her. That is because you are vicious, you had a perfect life. There was no need for anything that you have done to Raven. She never deserved any of it. Why couldn't you just be happy with all that you had? This whole thing is just about you being so jealous of her. We are beautiful too, we had a mate that loved us, and being with him was wonderful. You broke my heart rejecting him, I had bonded with his wolf. You just go around destroying things. You are making poor decisions for the both of us, and it isn't right, or fair. Lena links me back even madder than before. Look, you know that this is the last time. I already told you. With this, I will be done for a while. Raven and Justin will be taken care of, and I can find another chosen mate. You will still be able to bond with their wolf. I will pick a good mate for you to be with. Just trust me. I know what I am doing. I linked her back. I don't want her to get my mind off what needs to be done. The camera is activated by movement, so I am sitting still until he arrives. I told him to meet me here at 1200, as I wanted to give us some time together. I believe that he can go at least twice, I may even be able to get a third time from him if he is really worked up. I heard a knock at the door at 1150, and I am surprised, he got here really quickly. He must have been speeding his A*s off to get here so soon. It is hard to tamper down my anger at his obvious excitement at being able to finally get his hands on my sister. I am so angry at him right now. I want to tell him that it is me, confront him, and that he is busted, that ought to show him. But as soon as I open the door, and see him staring at me with so much love in his eyes, I can't do it. I want him to stare at me like I am the only girl in the world for him. Even if it is because he thinks I am Raven. I care for him and I want him. I want him to FK the ST out of me like he used to before, and that is my only thought at this time. I stepped back to let him in, and I closed and locked the door after him. Are you okay, Raven? I got your message, you aren't hurt, are you? Brandon didn't hurt you in your fight, right? Justin asked with a lot of concern for my well-being. I shook my head to the negative, and know that I have to speak, so I cleared my throat and gave a weak version of Raven's voice. I replied back, no, he didn't hurt me, but I was worried about you. My voice is scratchy from all the crying I have been doing lately. I needed to give him a reason for my sounding different. He accepted it as truth and I held his hand and led him to sit on the side of the bed. I tried to blush, and be shy, but I wasn't good at it, so I kept looking at the floor, letting my hair fall around my face to block me from him. What did you want to talk to me about? If you are not safe, I will go with you. We can leave here and never come back. I wanted to do that anyway, but I was forced back to Silver Blade because of the contract. They were going to hurt my family. I need to tell you that if it weren't for that fact, I would have never gone along with the contract. I was already trying to get you back. I had left Reagan and was coming to be with you at Bloodwalker, or at least attempt to rescue you from Bloodwalker. That is what I wanted to tell you, Justin told me. I am so angry right now I can't look up at him. The cold hard truth that he wanted the pariah of our pack, instead of me hurts me. I wanted him so much, that I chose him out of everyone. For him to say that to me, I can't even speak, I am so mad. So angry that tears start dropping from my eyes as I needed a release of my anger. What I really wanted to do was punch him. But I can't, I needed this. I needed to be with him, and I needed the video of this. He sees the tears dropping onto my jeans and gently turns my face toward him as he watches the tears fall. He thinks that Raven is crying over the situation with Brandon. Not me crying because he just ripped my heart into pieces. I open my mouth to speak and a sob comes out, and he is clearly very upset. He wraps me up in his arms and starts to speak so soothingly to me, that I get caught up in it. I love being in his arms and having him show me how much he cares for me. If only this could be the life we actually have, instead of the one that we are currently living. He is so different than how he was with me now, that I cannot contain my sobs, and he thinks that something very bad happened to Raven. His concern is evident, and then he stands up and pulls me up from the bed. I will fix this. We can go to your father's pack. I will do whatever I need to prove to you that I have changed and that I want you to be my mate. As soon as I touched you, I knew the horrible mistake that I had made. It is you in my heart. Please just give me a chance. I will take you to safety, come with me, Justin tells me, and my tears are real. Every word just breaks my heart more. Being called a horrible mistake was a hard thing to hear, but it was his truth. I shook my head and sat back down. I can't let him take me there, they won't fall for it, and I would never leave their cells when they figured out what I was up to. I needed him to comfort me. I know he wants to, and this shouldn't be too hard to do. I used a spray to cloak my scent. I came prepared, I just need to get him worked up. It shouldn't be hard, he hasn't touched me in almost 2 months. No, Justin, I can go there later. I just wanted to see you. That is where I was headed, but Dad doesn't like you very much for rejecting me. I just wanted to be with you for a little while, and get our bond to start strengthening again. I am done with Brandon, he put his hands on me, and I am scared of him now, I told him, trying to play up the timid side. The one that she has always shown until she discovered us together, and that he was her mate. I was still stunned that she was able to phase so quickly and run away like she did. She had a large wolf, and I was not going to piss her off. She would probably like nothing other than to beat me up, I know she will after this. I still haven't trained, and it would be no fight between us. I see Justin frown, but when I leaned in towards him, he didn't back away. I knew he wanted this. He wanted her, and I am just glad that since their bond was broken, he wouldn't expect to feel the tingles or smell my scent. He is just focused on the wrapping paper, and as far as he is concerned, I am Raven. He leans toward me and his lips meet mine in a soft kiss. I normally don't like the slow version, but I am Raven right now, and he wants to seduce me. I am all in for it because I know what the result is either way. Justin is about to blow my mind, and I want this. I want every single scrap that he will give me. I will gladly take it and remember today as a precious memory. I wish it could be different, but we will have to break our being chosen mates off after today. He chose to stay with my sister, he dug in, and wouldn't change his mind. So I will give him one last precious memory of what he could have had. I will play this part for him, and let him lead. I will allow him to let his fantasy play out, because at the end of the day, he will have people hunting him down. I just realized that I had signed the death for the man who holds my heart. Losing him is going to hurt me too, and I can't stop the tears from falling from the corners of my eyes, and Justin uses his thumbs to brush them away. We don't need to speak anymore, because this is our final farewell, and it is bittersweet. Chapter 50 Justin's POV. I have been speaking to Raven secretly for about a month now. I was so glad to find out that she forgave me. We spoke to each other almost every day. She has become very close to me, and I am glad that I got this opportunity to be with her. She was always kind, and I figured it was just a matter of time before she would accept my apology. At first, I thought that it was Reagan who was messing with me. It is the kind of thing that she would do. But I had received over 50 texts with Reagan sitting right now to me, and she didn't have her phone in her hands. So as time went on, I gradually lowered my guard. Especially when Raven started hinting at trouble in paradise. It was mild at first, but he is becoming increasingly aggressive towards her over me. I am glad that he sees me as a threat. I am. I want her back more than anything else in my life. I would do anything to get her to accept me again. We can resend our rejections, and see if the moon goddess will give the bond back to us. I swear to the goddess that I will do right by Raven if the goddess gives me another chance. I have been perfect since it happened. I prayed to the goddess every single day since we rejected each other. I wanted her to restore our bond. I may not feel the tingles anymore, but I still felt tethered to Raven. There is something holding us together, and I care about her. I am glad that for whatever reason it is, somehow we are still bound. I still love her, despite her anger and hate towards me. When she asked me to meet her, after implying that she had left Brandon, I was scared for her. He is very strong. Normally I wouldn't volunteer to fight him, but for Raven, I would gladly do it. When I got to the hotel and saw her, she took my breath away. Even with no makeup, she is the most beautiful girl I know. Reagan is beautiful too, but Raven's green eyes seem to stare into my soul. I just wish our bond were fully there between us. Remembering those tingles as I stroked her hair, was getting me excited. I need to calm down, she invited me in, and her locking the door after I entered, had me worried. Was Brandon after her? Was she not safe here? Was she on the run? I felt like I needed to get her to safety as soon as I could. I will keep her safe, she can trust me completely, from now on. I got hypnotized by her and leaned in for a kiss. It seemed like she was encouraging me to do so, and my heart sang. My precious Raven has totally forgiven me. I gave her a sweet kiss. I knew that Raven would be different than Reagan would. Reagan was very aggressive with S***X. Always telling me what to do, and how to do it. Like a drill sergeant. Never letting me lead, I just followed her instructions. That was fine at the start. I didn't know really what I was doing, but I figured it out quickly. I wasn't planning on coming here to sleep with Raven, and I don't want her to just sleep with me to get back at Brandon either. I am going to have to pump the brakes here and tell her that. When I leaned back and saw her tears, I knew she needed comfort, but I wanted her to be safe. I can comfort her there, as soon as she is safe from harm. I brushed off her tears and said, "We need to get you to safety." Is Brandon after you? He could track your credit cards. I am okay with getting you to your dad's pack. I do not need you to feel any kind of pressure to sleep with me, I rather wait to do that actually. I love you, and I want you to be safe, Raven, I told her, and more tears fell. I am fighting a losing battle here, as I feel like she needs me to comfort her before we leave, but that is not smart, or safe. Just be with me, okay, Justin? Just be with me for a little while and I will go to Bloodwalker. I just want to feel safe again, Raven whispered to me. Her voice was a little off, but she had been crying a lot lately, and her voice came out huskier than normal. Okay, whatever you want, I will do, Raven, I told her with complete honesty, and her stare was hard to read. I thought what I said to her would bring her joy, but it didn't. I don't understand what she needs from me. After a minute she stood up and pulled her t-shirt over her head. My mouth went dry, and I feel like this is a fantasy being played out. She pulls my shirt up off of me too, and then motions for me to get in the middle of the bed. I am absolutely okay with doing this. I just didn't want her to feel like I was wanting payment for helping her. I would always put her needs first, from the very moment I touched her and felt our bond. Raven climbs up the bed, and straddles me, and then bends forward with her hair caressing my chest. It is making it very sensitive to the touch, and she finally places her hands on my chest and starts to touch me. I can feel her sitting on my CK, and he is responding to her quickly. She just started touching me, and I need to be in her. I want to complete this, now. I want to possess and claim her. But she is not letting me touch her very much. Maybe she feels guilty for cheating on Brandon with me. But I am okay with it. I know that he will be feeling what we are about to do and that we will be needing to get to safety soon. I will not allow him to hurt my sweet Raven. I grabbed one of her hands and pulled it towards my mouth to give her a kiss on her wrist. I felt her shudder, and I am glad that she likes that. I want to show her that she is important to me. It gives me pleasure to give her pleasure. I wanted to give her pleasure too, but each time I tried to get up, to have her lay on the bed, she would stop me. Maybe she is inexperienced, and I won't push her. I will do it for her the next time. Clearly, she is just doing what she feels comfortable doing. Raven gets off me and said, "Take your pants off." I quickly did as she asked, as I cannot believe that the moment that I have dreamed of for 2 months is finally here. I honestly never thought that it would ever happen. She seemed to hate me for the bad choice that I made. I am so glad we got to talk and straighten it out. I got back in bed and watched her as she stripped down in front of me. She is beautiful, just like I thought she would be, and very similar to Reagan. I brushed that thought away, as I didn't want to think of Reagan at this moment. So well, her mate needed an heir, but my brain is yelling at me to stop thinking and just enjoy it. I watch as Raven straddles me again, and slowly lowered herself onto me. Yes, Raven is finished too. Raven got up and went and got me a rag to clean me up, and toss the condom. I guess it was smart of her to use the condom. We are not officially together and she wouldn't want to get pregnant. Her dad would really hate me then. But her safety is the most important thing to me right now. Raven, we need to get dressed. I need to get you to where you are safe. I won't allow Brandon to hurt you ever again. I can give you time, and when you are ready, we can be together. There is no hurry. I just need you to be safe. I love you, I told her, and the tears come back into her eyes again. I am so glad that I can move her to tears, but really I cared for her, and I needed her to be safe. Okay, once more, and then I will leave Justin, Raven tells me. I am sure she saw that I was good with that since she had her hand on my CK. I only needed a few minutes to recover anyway. This time I pushed her back onto the pillow and gave her some passionate kisses. Thank you, Goddess, for giving me a second chance with Raven. I didn't deserve it, but I am thankful for it. Raven brings her hair to the side and leaves it in a pile on her neck. I guess she is getting it out of her way, or maybe she didn't want me to see Brandon's mark on her. Just the thought of his mark on her gets me worked up. She should never have even been his in the first place. I am going to show her that she needs to be with me. She is making a lot of noise and showing her approval of what I am doing. I love it. I feel so close to her. I want so much to be with her. I would do anything for her. I want her to remember this. She is hesitant at first and tries to straighten her hair again, but I want her on all fours. I give up another round of thanks to the goddess for her. I enjoy the views so much. I finally have my mate, and even if it is all in my mind, I feel whole again. I feel like the goddess has smiled down on me, and given me a gift. I felt like I did before I was forced to be with Reagan. I get even more excited seeing her long black hair across her back. This, my being with Raven, is making me so happy. I have my Raven back. I am so happy to be here with her. I am glad that she insisted on us being together. I can wait the month or two that it will be to wait on her father to accept me as her suitor again. I know that my actions destroyed the mate bond, but I am so sorry for what I have done. I would do anything at all to take it back. I hear her cry out, and her body tense as her channel grabs me tightly as she comes. Her gripping me like that sends me over too, and I thrust into her as hard as I can to make us be joined as tightly as we can be. I grabbed her hair in my hand to tug it as I used my other hand on her shoulder to pull her tightly back into me. I am smiling at the memory of Raven hoarsely screaming out my name as she came undone. I hope that our first time together was pleasurable for her as it was for me. I did try to make sure that it was. I gently pull out and lay back on the bed. Raven puts her arms around me to give me a hug. I stroked her back gently as I tried to catch my breath. I was really trying to make sure that she remembered me fondly after this. Raven is a beautiful girl and she will have guys flocking to her if she really is leaving Brandon like she said she was. I will have to get with some elders, to see what can be done to break the forced bond with Reagan. I will not go back to her, I will never go back to the same way that I was living before. I felt something tickling my hand, and I looked down to see a big foot-long piece of black hair lying on the bed next to me. It was what had been tickling my hand. I look at Raven's back and see that her ends are not even anymore. There are 2 more sections, just like the one currently laying next to my hand, that had apparently been pulled down when I was tugging on her hair. She doesn't seem to notice it or the hairpiece lying in the bed between us. She is content to be where she is, stroking my chest lovingly. I am suddenly getting concerned like I missed something. I feel like even though I paid attention, I have been tricked again. I see her leg possessively across mine, as she snuggles closer into me. I bent down to kiss the top of her head, as I wanted to see the mark on her neck. The one that she has been working so hard to keep hidden from me. I see my own mark sitting proudly on her neck, and know that it is Reagan in my arms and not Raven. I am working really hard not to tense up, but I feel sick. Who would do such a thing? Was I still so in love with Raven that I saw what I wanted? That I wanted to be with Raven so much, I was willing to forget all the evil traps and tricks that Reagan was known for. I feel physically ill, and I am even more glad that I wore the condoms now. I don't want this evil girl to bear my pups. Even though she looks just like Raven right now, I am starting to believe that I was the big plan that she had come up with after all. She had this planned out to the nth degree, and I realized that I have been totally set up. I tried to calm my breathing down, and stay relaxed. Reagan is a viper, and I need to not show my hand. I needed to get out of here, before she realized that I knew it was her, and not Raven. I place my forearm over my eyes to hide the fact that I am going to mind link. Dad, are you at home? I asked him. Yes, I was just helping your mom start dinner, Dad linked back. Pack up. 1 duffel bag each. Reagan tricked me, and she pretended to be Raven. I have a feeling that I am going to be at the center of a war. We need to get to Alpha Cole's pack as quickly as we can. I will see if there is any way at all that he will accept us into his pack. Just get ready, and if asked, tell them you are going out to dinner to celebrate how well the training is going on, or that it is your anniversary and you are celebrating, but link me back when you are all clear of Silver Blade, and safe. I linked him back. I glanced around the room looking at the vents, and I do not see a camera. But I know her. I know Reagan really well. She didn't do all this spur of the moment. She planned to record us, I can feel it. I am appalled that she would go so far, to hurt Raven. She is going to use this to hurt Raven. I saw him. Brandon is very jealous and possessive of Raven. He could really hurt her, he might even kill her over this. He knows that I wanted her back. This is not a good situation to be in. I already know that the clock will be ticking the second she leaves here. I will not be going back to Silver Blade. I do not want any memories of that place again. I am going to beg Alpha Cole to help us. I know what Reagan is planning now. If I hadn't been caught up in trying to lure Raven to come back to me, I might have seen it. I cannot believe that she got me again. Reagan is not smarter than me. Then the shoe drops. Her dad kicked me out of that meeting, and I left to go text with Raven. I feel disgusted at having been played by them like that. Goddess, I am an IT. He went easier on her before I left the room. He knew she had something planned, and sent me off so they could come up with something. Well, I won't let them get away with it. I am going to have to contact Alpha Cole as soon as I can. He needs to be told because Raven is really in danger right now. Reagan rises up and gets out of bed to go use the bathroom. I pulled her back to me and gave her a kiss on the lips. It was the most I could do to keep playing the part of a loving mate. I needed to get out of here quickly, and I needed her to take her time in the bathroom. As soon as the bathroom door shut, I jumped up and grabbed my shorts, pulling them on and leaving my underwear on the floor. Thankfully my wallet and keys were still in the shorts. I just grabbed my t-shirt and shoes, and ran out the door, leaving it wide open. I didn't want her to hear it shut behind me when I left. I peeled out of the hotel parking lot, as I got the link from Dad telling me that they were safe. Now to call Alpha Cole. Chapter 51 Alpha Cole's POV. My phone is ringing for the second time in as many minutes, and I glanced down at it. Justin again. I don't feel like talking to him, but with 2 calls it might be important. I answered it impatiently as his trying to shake me down to get to speak to Raven left a bad taste in my mouth. I thought he had the good graces to leave us all alone after that. Clearly, he doesn't. Don't hang up. I heard Justin start off, yelling on my phone. What in the world is going on? We had been having a great day with Raven just leaving about 15 minutes ago, and now Justin is clowning. What are you calling me for? I will not allow you to speak to Raven. You need to move on, pup, I growled out. Raven is going to be in danger, Justin blurted out. He sounded panicked and really worried right now. I realized that Reagan had still not learned and this was going to be a big problem. Raven was not going to answer her phone. She was still a new driver, and she was pregnant now, so Olivia drilled into her to be careful, as she had precious cargo on board. The thought of something happening to my baby who is carrying my grand pup stopped me in my tracks. Olivia ran into the room. She could tell that I was really upset and she came to comfort me. I had Justin on speaker and told him, "Tell me what Reagan did." "I am on my way to you right now, Alpha Cole. I know I don't deserve your trust, but I am telling you the absolute truth. Even though what I am going to tell you is going to sound crazy." I realized that I had just been set up by Reagan. She pretended to be Raven. This is bad, and I don't want to tell you the whole thing over the phone. I told my family to come to you. They had to get out of Silver Blade before Reagan realized that I knew it was her. I am okay if you won't take us in, but Reagan and Graham came up with a heinous plan. I was not in the loop because they were leaving me and Raven as the ones to bear the punishment. I have proof of everything on my phone. Even if you won't allow my family and me to stay at Bloodwalker, I will show you and tell you what happened. My parents will be there soon. Please just wait for me at the gate. I am about 7 minutes away. You will need to look me in the eye to see if I am telling the truth or not. You wouldn't believe me if I told you over the phone. Justin told me, and now I am scared of what this could possibly be. This is going to be a big problem, and I linked my beta to grab about 8 warriors and meet me with 2 SUVs at the gate in 5 minutes. I kissed Olivia as I exited my office. She was crying because she knows that I am fully aware that Raven may be in a great deal of danger, and I headed to the gate. Timothy was already there with the men, and I recognized Charlie, my head trainer in the group. I knew he had a crush on Raven, and he is an excellent fighter, so it is good to bring him along. I am not going to let anything happen to my baby girl. Justin was right. His parents and younger brother were already at the gate. I have heard of Randolph Evans before. According to my intel on the Silver Blade pack, his family is the only decent one in Silver Blade. He takes his training very seriously, and it is obvious that he trains hard daily. I have a beta, and gamma. I do not have a delta though, and if Justin has something valuable to give me, I do not mind giving his father a chance here, especially if Raven tells me that he and his family weren't involved in her abuse. I will house them tonight in the visitors area on the beta level while I get this squared away. I linked Olivia to bring 3 warriors to the gate with her and that we were going to give them that temporary housing there until I knew what was going to do. I was already letting them into Bloodwalker when I see a vehicle coming flying up towards the gate. Justin parked his truck sideways in the visitors area outside the gate and ran up to me. He looked terrible. He only had shorts on, and his shirt and shoes were in his hands as he begged to go with me to go to get Raven. He was insisting that we needed to leave right now. I had a quick discussion in my link with Timothy, with Justin pulling his shirt over his head to get dressed, and then pulling his shoes on. When he straightened back up, he said, "We need to go, now, please Alpha Cole." I can sense that he is truly concerned about Raven, so I am going to let him come with us. I couldn't leave him here. I had a gut feeling that he needed to be with us, and I have learned over the years to trust my gut. "You can ride with me, Justin, come on." "Timothy, when I get the story, I will link you to let you know what happened," I told him. A total of 4 warriors came with me and the other 4 got in Timothy's SUV. We left quickly heading to Blackadder. From how anxious Justin was, I didn't want to waste any time. He got there quickly, and I was flying just as fast to get to Raven. She drives a little slow, as she doesn't want to mess her SUV up, so if all goes well, I should get there about 10 minutes after she does. But I need to know what is going on here. Brandon dotes on Raven. Why would he do anything to hurt her? It just doesn't make any sense. I looked over at Justin and he is worried, I mean really worried, and I need to know now what happened. "Justin, tell me what happened. I need to know, so I can deal with this," I told him. He nodded and glanced back at the men behind us and then started to tell me the craziest story that I have ever heard. The more he spoke, the better I understood. He started reading the texts to me, from the start, almost a month ago. He also took pictures of them and sent them to me. Yeah, I am going to need that. They set a perfect trap for him. He is as anxious as I am about getting to her, and I can tell that he fully thought that it was Raven. Clearly, Reagan has lost all sense of reality. I have never heard of such a thing in all my years. They did look alike, they both had Cassandra's face. I could see when a man pining away for his lost love would not realize he was being tricked. I could see why he was half naked when he arrived now. His only thought was to go help Raven. He was right. He had heard enough bits and pieces from him, starting with the meeting in Graham's office, for me to know exactly what happened here. Graham said it himself, it would take something huge to happen to get the council off of them and onto other matters. He was going to have me attack Brandon, and us fight it out between us, to leave them alone. I linked Timothy what happened, and then we each linked our mates to tell them. All the warnings that we gave them, they still had the gall to do this. They will deserve what they get from it. I called council member Emerson to bring him up to speed and then had Justin forward the same texts to him. It was proof that they had done a long con on him. I will find proof somewhere to show exactly what lengths Reagan would go to, but right now my first concern was my baby girl. We were about 10 minutes out when Justin told me to slow down. I did, and if I hadn't we would have missed her. I am starting to think that he did still have some of the mate bond with Raven. This didn't make any sense at all. Her SUV had run off the road, and she had hit a tree. Justin got there at the same time I did, with Charlie right behind us. She was bleeding on her head from where it hit the steering wheel, and as I carried her to my SUV, I could see blood on my white t-shirt. She had a wound on the back of her head too. I am furious. Why would he let her drive clearly injured? I howled out in fury at Brandon's callous actions, and I don't have time to engage with him. That will be done after my baby is okay. I had 2 of the warriors drive her car back with us. It only had damage to the protective grille. She must have been almost at a stop, as she just rolled into it. She may have just passed out from blood loss, I don't know. All I know is that someone will be paying with their lives for this. I held my daughter to me as we went back home. I cannot control my emotions and I linked Timothy. I was too upset to do it, but I told him that someone needed to straighten Brandon out. Whatever he thought, was wrong. He almost got my baby girl killed, and I will not be letting it go. Timothy agreed and went ahead to link Stella. One way or another we were going to get to the bottom of all this. I closed the link and looked down at my daughter and see that Justin is holding her hand gently in his and watching her with concern all over his face. It is obvious that he loves her, but Raven is very much like me. When you screw me over, I am done with you. I do not know that he will be given a second chance with her. But I also don't know what Brandon did to her yet either. I pray for Brandon's sake that he did not do anything to Raven. It didn't look like she had clear or visible injuries, but she had 2 head wounds. I am very upset, and I am trying to control my breathing because I need some answers. I link Olivia again and tell her to go to the PAC hospital and get them prepared to receive Raven. I can feel Olivia's emotions and they mirror mine. No time for questions. I need her checked out as soon as we get there, and we will park on the sidewalk if we need to. I gave her an ETA of 15 minutes and I dropped the link. I just can't stop telling Raven that she will be okay. I don't know if I am telling her the truth or not, but it is my job to love and protect her, and clearly, that ball got dropped. I don't even know if she can hear me, or not. I do know that I want to rip Brandon's head off his shoulders and use it for a bowling ball though. Reagan had a great plan, he is mad at her, and indirectly me, and I am furious with him. It was a great idea to get us to fight each other, and forget about Silver Blade. I glanced over at Justin and he is still holding her hand and talking to her calmly. He is telling her that he is here with her and that he will help her. I don't know how true that is either, but I do know in my hurry I would have blown straight by where she was crashed, in my effort to get to Blackadder, as we had been traveling very fast when he told me to slow down. I let out a sigh. There is something there, even if I don't understand it myself, but he clearly loves Raven. I guess we have a new Delta family now. Justin can take it over when his dad retires if he can prove himself worthy. I will be keeping an eye on him though. We pulled up and I see my family, and the Beta family standing right there with them, and they all looked serious. There is a gurney already there, and Olivia knew I wasn't joking about parking on the sidewalk. I told Charlie to go ahead and park at the door. I got out and placed Raven gently on the gurney, and the blood all over me made the family gasp in fear. She was breathing fine while I had her, but I don't know the extent of her injuries. She had the top doctor and several nurses with her when she was taken back, and I had Charlie go stand outside of her room to protect her. I needed to figure out my next move, and I am so upset for Raven that I don't know what to do first. I got a hold of Stella, and she said that Brandon didn't hit her. Raven was trying to grab his arm and he pulled away from her. Raven then tripped on the stairs and fell when she lost her balance. She wanted to come with her, but Raven told her that she was fine. Stella stayed behind to straighten Brandon out. She was mentioning that Brandon was totally convinced that Raven had cheated on him. I gave her a heads up on what Reagan did. Hopefully, she will be able to talk some sense into Brandon before it is too late, Timothy told me. I don't know, Raven may or may not forgive him. From the sounds of it, he wouldn't listen to the 2 eyewitnesses she had with her, or called to ask me or Beta Timothy. She was with us all day. I know he loves Raven too, but I hope he didn't burn his own bridge down with what he did to her. Sometimes words hurt a hell of a lot more than being hit. Words have a way of staying with us, long after they are said. I have got to do something. I can't just stand around here. I called council member Emerson again and asked him to come to my pack in the morning. It was getting too late to demand him to come now. He surprised me by telling me that he would be here in an hour, as he had packed up and was headed my way now from when I first called him. That made me happy, and I linked the gate guards that he was coming. I kept pacing around until Olivia made me sit down and she sat in my lap. I am trying so hard to stay calm. I am also trying to not say something that could cause a problem for Simone and Carter. She was his sister and I don't want to cause a problem between us, especially if Raven decides to go back to Blackadder. But I wanted to know what had happened. I was absolutely disgusted by his behavior. He made her leave after he knew she was injured. Did he not know that she was pregnant? He sent his mate, and pup, out to be hurt. Dad, can I speak to you outside please? Carter said to me about 10 minutes later. Olivia stood up and I followed Carter out, with Beta Timothy right behind me. Dad, look at this. Simone was sent this video from an unknown account. It was saying that it was proof that Raven was a slut. It has been forwarded out to all the ranked wolves, in a 200-mile radius. It is hard to watch, but Mom said that Raven had been with you both all day. Simone said she had spoken to her mother and found out that Raven had been at Blackadder the whole month since she arrived, and had never left. Today was the only time that she left the pack. It has Raven's name on it, but it isn't Raven. I think this is what Brandon was sent, what pushed him over the edge. It really looks like whoever did this was deliberately trying to destroy Raven, and Justin's reputations, Carter told me, and I looked down and I know what this is. It is the video that Justin came here to warn me about. Justin came to me to warn me that Raven was in danger. I can see that she does look exactly like Raven. It was Reagan. She changed her hair color and got contacts. Justin thought it was Raven. He thought that she had forgiven him, and wanted him back. He fell for it. He found out after the fact it was Reagan when he saw his mark on her shoulder. He took off after that to warn me, but clearly, they were ready to go with the whole thing pretty quickly. I thought that he should be ashamed to fall for the trick, but goddess, looking at her really does look like Raven. I can see where Brandon had his heart broken seeing the video. It looks like she cheated. I agreed with Carter. I was barely holding on earlier about this situation, and finding out that this video is being shared over and over again, as free PN, smearing my daughter's name. It is breaking my heart for her. I am going to kill Reagan, and Graham, myself. This video is sent out, and the absolute proof of it was damning. It looks bad. I need to get some crowd control on this and called Justin over. I just held the video up for him to see, and I can tell by his face, that he was shocked at the clarity of the video. There was no denying it, it looked like he and Raven were in bed together. Right now, I am just thankful that Brandon didn't reject Raven on the spot when she got home. She could have lost the pup if he had. That was at least something. Maybe he knows in the back of his mind that something was off, but couldn't put his finger on it. Thank the goddess for whatever it was, because it could have been worse. He could have killed my sweet girl in his anger. Chapter 52 Stella's POV. I am so angry that I am shaking. What has gotten the men around here to be so convinced of something that I know for a fact isn't true? Even if we weren't with Raven all day. I know her, she would never cheat on Brandon. She loves him with her whole heart. That was why it was so hard to see that play out in front of the pack house. We had a great day, but the second we got back here Truett grabbed me, and it wasn't for a hug and a kiss, it was them holding us back so we didn't do anything to Brandon. I was sickened by his words, and I watched as he broke my best friend's heart right in front of me. Her falling was an actual accident, but his sending her away because he was so hurt he couldn't look at her, was all on him. I have been waiting on a call to hear she got home, but Mom and Joshua have not linked me yet to let me know that she had arrived. I am just pacing and waiting. Truett tried to hug me, and I shut him down really quickly. He doesn't know Raven like I do, but instead of us talking about it, or even asking any of us what happened, Brandon automatically assumed the very worst of Raven. That was what bothered me the most. Raven had already had to deal in her short life, and for him to do the same thing to her when he swore to love and protect her. Yes, Truett better be glad he held me back. But I am not on Team Brandon. I am Team Raven, and he, his friend, and his brother are all about to get schooled. Dad gave me a link just now and told me about them finding Raven. Dad said that he was going to link me when they find out what happened, and I am sick with guilt. I let her leave because Truett didn't want me to drive her back. He felt like she deserved to be punished for hurting his best friend. So he ended up hurting mine. The pain I am feeling about this is almost unbearable. She wrecked her car because she was probably dizzy from hitting her head. Why did I listen to her? She always downplays everything. She was hurt, and I let her leave. I will tell Lainey, and when I get this sorted out, and I will make sure that they understand the full extent of their actions. She told Brandon that she was pregnant. It would clearly be his child. We have been here together this whole time, all month long here, we never left. He was not thinking clearly at all. I cannot imagine what will happen when he realizes what he has done to Raven. For now, I am keeping quiet about the accident. I plan on schooling all of these guys together at the same time. Someone needs to show them the error of their ways. I know that he loves her. I know that he wants her and the pup too, but he is so blinded by jealousy right now, he can't see anything. The whole thing doesn't even make any sense, at all. This is just so well timed out, it cannot be a coincidence. Someone here was willing to tell Reagan that we had made plans to leave. I mean hell, we were in here just last night talking about how excited we were for the trip. I suddenly realize that someone in this pack, Probably one of these hungry bies looking at our table, right now, had set us up. Cheryl is working with Reagan, and Reagan looks like Raven. I already know what happened now. I just needed proof of it, to take to Brandon. I want to know what he is willing to do to the BH who told them that we were leaving Blackadder. I would like to volunteer to give her the punishment she deserves. What if she loses the baby? Oh, goddess, I didn't even think of that. At least Brandon will have to deal with the guilt of it for the rest of his life. Because he made her leave, in that state, knowing that she had a head injury. I will probably never forgive him for doing that, even if she does. Dinner had been totally quiet with Brandon sitting with us, and the whole pack gossiping about what went down today. How and did they already know about it? Slutty she-wolves kept approaching Brandon and trying to get him to agree to allow them up to his room, at least he was loyal to Raven on that. I am glad she warned him, and I am getting tired of these freaking she-wolves walking up, but I don't want to speak right now. I am not speaking to any of these AS. It might encourage Truett to think that I am forgiving him, and I was not right now. I don't even know how they can condemn her in the first place. I was starting to wonder how people even knew what had happened because Brandon had not shown me, or Lainey, his alleged proof. No matter what we said, he refused to do it. After the fourth girl came up and offered herself to Brandon, I had to ask, because this was freaking crazy. Excuse me, he has a Luna. Stop disrespecting her, and don't offer yourself to the alpha. He has a mate, I told her, and I was angry, so I pulled no punches. Not my fault if everyone found out that our Luna was a slut. That is on her, not me. She won't be Luna for long. As this is going viral, the she-wolf waves her phone screen in my face, and a video of what looked to be Raven and Justin played on her phone. It was pretty graphic, but Raven had not left here until today. And I was with her all day. So it literally was impossible for this to be Raven. Can you send me that video? I want to look at it, I asked her, and the look she gave me was amused. I bet, he is pretty hot, she smirked. No, Raven is my best friend. It could not possibly be Raven, so I need to look at this video to see if I can get proof of it, I told her and rolled my eyes. This girl was just disgusting. I did not believe for 1 minute that Raven was capable of doing this. I remember that first night she arrived, and her playing 20 questions with me. I wanted to get to know her, and it was a fun game to play. She had told me about the thing in life that hurt her the most, was Justin's betrayal. She was loyal to the bone, she wouldn't do that to Brandon. Especially since she had experienced the same kind of pain, she would never betray him. I am absolutely grossed out at seeing this video. Truett was the only man that I had seen naked, and he was getting upset at me watching the video too. I am pretty sure he was checking out the female in the video when he watched it. It was clear that Justin didn't have anything to be embarrassed about in the video as well. I was watching it for the second time when I saw it. The proof that it wasn't Raven was when Justin was putting Reagan on all fours. I froze the video, and said, "Can we all go to your office?" Brandon knew it was aimed at him. I am about to ruin his day, and I would be lying through my teeth if I said that I wasn't completely happy about it. The 6 of us head out of the dining room to go up to the office. We passed the previous alpha couple as they entered the dining room, and when his mother, Angie, tried to tell him to call and check on Raven, he blew her off. I stopped and spoke with her for a minute, and I told her that I was about to get it straightened out with Brandon right now. Dad had told me that Justin had shown up at Bloodwalker earlier tonight and that he was frantic for them to go and help Raven. I guess he figured it out too. I don't know how he did, but anyone with eyes can see a man in love with the woman he is with, in this video. I know that soon Raven will have to make a choice. I just hope that Brandon's words didn't make her hate him, more than she already hated Justin. We all filed into the office and took our seats. Truett sat next to me, in a chair in front of Brandon's desk, and Crew and Lainey took over the couch against the wall. I see Brandon has gone into full alpha mode, like he is planning on intimidating me. I am sorry for him, it is not going to work. He needs to be taken down a peg, and I am just the girl to do it. Brandon, do you want the bad news? Or the worst news first? Or actually, I would like to know why none of you guys love your mates enough to listen to them. I asked him. It's a trick question because they're all really bad. What are you talking about, Stella? You saw the video. You know it was Raven, the proof was right there in front of your own eyes, you don't have to stick up for her anymore. Just admit it. Don't try to cover for her. You and Lainey were just as complicit in this as she was, Brandon said, and I straightened up in my chair. Okay, Brandon, I see that this is how you are going to play it, all right. I will play along, in the same cutthroat way. Just know this. In 5 minutes, you, your brother, and your best friend here are all going to be feeling like St. Actually, lower than St, and you know what? You are all right now, in my opinion, lower than St. You do not deserve to be forgiven. I know I won't be easily forgiving you for what you did to Raven. Not for a long time, I told him, and then stood up from my chair to speak. I am so angry right now, I feel like I could explode. Truett reached out to hold my hand to try to comfort me, and I slapped his hand away. He looks hurt, but I am too. His alpha just called me, and Lainey, liars that helped Raven to cheat. Is that what they think of us? Neither of them came to our defense. I am glad we know now, I think a little time apart is in order. I mind-linked Lainey to have an Omega pack some clothes up for me. I will not be staying here after I get through speaking. I cannot believe that they would automatically assume the worst, about all of us. Lainey knows to have my car brought up too, and I was glad that Carter had Simone drive it here for me, on their last trip to visit. I am about to be dropping truth bombs all over the place. I hope that by the time they recover from the explosions, I will be off our land. I need some time away, they need to reflect on what they did too. Lainey told me not to leave without her. She is having both our bags getting packed at this time and taken down to the car. I controlled my breathing to even out, plus I needed to give the Omegas time to get us packed. I told Lainey to link me when they had the car loaded and to have them leave it parked out front. You know, there are several things that disgust me about this plan against Raven. Things that apparently did not occur to any of you brilliant ranked wolves. Why would Raven record herself having S*X with a person she despises? Why would she send said video out to over 700 recipients? In what is clearly an email chain for ranked wolves, that belongs to a ranked wolf. Did you check to see where it originated from? I bet it was Silver Blade. Or did you just naturally assume the very worst about your new mate? Who would hate Raven enough, that when all her other plans failed, would be able to do this, just to ruin Raven in the werewolf community? Someone who just freaking happens to look exactly like Raven. Goddess, you men are so blind. That is Reagan in that video. She dyed her hair, and wore contacts, and put this show on. Why do you think you got it an hour before anyone else, Brandon? I asked him. I am just getting warmed up now. He will be losing his ST when I am done. He deserves to feel the full weight of guilt that I am about to put on him. Why would Reagan even do such a thing? What possible reason would she have for it? She would be completely humiliated for the rest of her life for it. Brandon scoffs at my questions, but I see that the wheels are starting to turn for him. Why indeed, Brandon? I can think of several reasons. The main one is to get out from under attack from both of us, and Bloodwalker. They got desperate, and need to try to save their pack. That is the only thing I can think of for this dog and pony show. Have us duke it out between two strong packs over your killing Raven over that video. That is what Reagan has always wanted, her sister dead. She was going to use you as a tool, she did use you as a tool. The only mistake she made was the fact that you love Raven so much, you couldn't hurt her. But you still did, didn't you, Brandon? You are right on par with that AE in the video. I will let you know something else. Raven is pregnant, with your baby. When you shook her arm off of you on the steps, and she fell, that was all on you. She could lose the baby, your baby, all because of your jealousy. All because you couldn't sit down and talk like a reasonable adult, I told Brandon. I see his mouth opening and closing like a fish, and if he thinks that it is over, he is wrong. How can we believe that, Stella? Where is your proof? Because it looks like her in the video, Truett asked. I can see him sweating, and I think he realizes that he, and crew, have royally FD up too. The worst part is that neither of you two was willing to listen to us tell you that she was with one or the other all day long. We were with her, as well as my parents, and hers. She was never out of our sight. Not for a minute. So clearly you do not trust either of us, your true mates. I am so glad to find this out now though. It hurts the both of us, that you don't believe in your mates, just like Brandon here, I told them, and I see Brandon bristling at me, getting angrier, and angrier, at my words. But he stayed quiet. I can see the guilt and shame in each of their eyes now, but they asked for this, and I am going to make sure they get the full show. You have several problems now, gentlemen. First, you have a mole in the pack. Someone from this pack told Cheryl that Raven, Lainey, and I were leaving the pack today. Some of that blame lies on us, thinking that it would be safe to discuss our spa day, while we had dinner in the dining room. It was foolish of us to think that we could speak freely in our own pack. We might have been spared this whole ugly incident if we could have spoken without being spied on. They told Cheryl, probably one of your fan club girls, Brandon. That way Reagan could get prepared to put her plan into play. I would start with the 4 sluts that were bold enough to approach you to offer up their disgusting services, seeing as how your Luna cheated on you. At least you saved her from the pain of your betrayal, which brings me to my next point. Did you feel it? Did you feel your mate betray you? I bet you didn't. Because she didn't. I bet the first inkling of a problem you got was with this stupid video that you were sent. Then you promptly went haywire thinking that Justin had slept with Raven. Am I close? I asked, and I could not keep the scorn out of my voice. These men deserved this, and everything that comes with it. I see it now, the shock at me nailing it. They should have known just from that. He was so mad, so sure that Raven had betrayed him, that he forgot that he never felt the pains of her betraying him. I am so disgusted with them right now, I want to scream. Lainey linked me that the car and our stuff were ready out front. Time to go, I will finish this now. So I am heading to my room, and you men can discuss amongst yourselves where you went wrong. But before Lainey and I leave, I have a few more things to tell you. Since you men have the pack's best interests at heart, you sent your pregnant mate away with a head injury. Because of pride. So let me ask you this, are you proud now? Now that you might lose your mate and your pup? Potentially the next alpha for Blackadder. Because Raven wrecked her SUV on her way home. She is being checked out right now. She is unconscious and injured, because of you. You want to know how I figured it out? I had picked out matching workout clothes for me and Raven to wear while we train. Raven doesn't have a mole on her side. Watch the video again, she has a mole about 3 inches above her hip, right above her waistline. There is your proof, Brandon. It was staring you right in the face, so you go ahead and believe your eyes like you told Raven. Because I am going to believe my friend. Just like Truett did, when he backed you, and not me. I told them and brushed the tears from my face. When the guys sat there and absorbed my words, we exit the pack house, and slowly drove away. I need to go check on my best friend, she needs me. I realized that I didn't tell Truett that I was pregnant, and I wasn't going to tonight. He really pissed me off, and he would have never let me leave the office without escorting me if he had known that I carried his pup. He has been wanting a baby, someone he can pass the beta line down to. He can wait to find out later, if he can somehow dig his way out of the giant hole he made for himself. Lainey reached over and squeezed my hand. I squeezed hers back. I know her pain too. Our mates didn't trust us, and that hurt. They would condemn all 3 of us, and brand us as liars, instead of just asking, and having us work it all out. Chapter 53 Brandon's POV. Stella was right, I was so angry at the video and that she allowed to touch her, that I lost my mind. I sat there stunned. She called me, and I was the one really in the wrong. Why didn't Raven argue with me, tell me? Make me believe her? She tried to it. She did tell you. Couldn't you feel her confusion at what you were saying to her? She didn't know what you were talking about. Mate also didn't smell like him, she carried her scent, and yours. You hurt Mate, and our pup axe linked me, and I am sick over my actions. I was thinking that it might be his pup, which pissed me off even more. I was angry, and I wanted her to be as hurt as I was, so I lashed out. I thought that she was just saying it was mine to get to stay in the pack. I linked him back. She never left the pack, except for today to meet her family for lunch and a free day. How could she have gotten pregnant by anyone else? Stella was right, about the horrible things you said. I was upset too, but I would never have called Mate what you did. There was something off with it, but I didn't know what it was until Stella mentioned it. You had no proof of Raven being unfaithful. You have a mole, and Cheryl needs to be taken care of too. Mate needs to be safe if she comes back, Axe told me, and that is when the real fear crept up. What have I done? What did I say to my sweet Mate? I am disgusted by my own behavior. How can I fix this? Goddess, she wrecked leaving here. Is she okay? Clearly, Cole knew, and yet he didn't come here to tell me. I feel like I need to call him, to see how Raven is, but I caused this whole thing. I cannot bear the consequence of losing my pup, my baby, over my jealousy. Goddess, what do I need to do? I have to call, that can't wait. I need to call and check on her. I deserve that I am about to receive, but I looked at the video, and there was glaringly obvious in my face. If I had been thinking clearly I would have remembered it myself because my mate did not have a mole on her lower ribcage like that. Stella was exactly right, in all of her points. Truett should be proud to have such a strong, smart mate. They left. They just left our packland, I heard Truett say before his voice broke. I see crew stiffen up and I see both of them mind-linking their mates. I can see the pain and frustration as they tried to reach out, and were obviously being blocked. I caused that too. We all thought we saw Raven in that video. We were all so justifiably upset, that we never pieced it together. Stella was angry, and she was right, they were telling all of us that they had been with her all day. Either all together or one or the other with Raven, but we all three ignored them thinking that they were just trying to cover for Raven. I know why. It was because I believed it so completely. I should have known if it was Raven in the video to not. Seeing it with perspective, Raven is much more toned than Reagan. Reagan is slim, but Raven is cut, she has definition from all the training that she does. They are not exactly the same. I just saw her face, and then Justin, and by then I was so angry I wasn't able to see that it wasn't my precious mate. I picked up my cell and tried to call Alpha Cole. It went to voicemail every time. I tried Carter a few times, also with no answer. I then finally Simone. She did answer but was speaking in a very low tone like she didn't want anyone to know that she was on the phone with me. I don't blame her, I am probably public enemy number one right now with Blood Walker. What? She asked in a sharp tone. I know I am putting her in a spot, but I need to know if Raven is okay. I am sorry. I will come there first thing in the morning to apologize. I swear I didn't realize that it wasn't Raven. It looked like her in the video. I was jealous and possessive of her, and it hurt me so much to see it. I was in so much pain, that I wasn't thinking clearly. I love her, I would never want anything bad to happen to her. Is she okay? Is our baby okay? I asked her. I was scared to hear the answer to the last two questions. If they weren't, it was absolutely my fault. They are okay, for right now. It was touch and go for a little while, but her whole family donated blood for her. They are keeping her overnight and will see about letting her out tomorrow. But you sent her away when she was hurt, Brandon. Whatin were you thinking? She could have been killed, and the baby too. How could you do that? You could have asked her, and yet she said you refused to talk to her. You condemned her like she was Liza when Raven never did anything to you. I saw the video. If you can prove it was Reagan, you need to do that. The comments are terrible. Justin's phone is totally blowing up too over the video, Simone told me. Wait, Justin is there? At Blood Walker? With Raven? I asked slowly. How? Why? Yes, apparently he discovered that it wasn't Raven while he was still there with her. He saw his mark on her shoulder. He knew what she was planning to do and was worried about Raven. He helped save her. He insisted on going with Cole, and they found her because Justin knew where she was. They would have driven right past her if he hadn't been with them. She got treatment in time to save them both, only because of Justin, Simone told me, and I am stunned. How did he know that? From the sound of it, she was not in a place that they would have seen. The chill comes over me as I realize that she could have bled out, and died, if not for Justin. I cannot control my emotions and I start to cry, for my mate, and my precious baby, for me and my stupid actions. They didn't deserve that. I will kill Reagan for this. I cannot allow them to do anything else to Raven. She has been put through too much. This is going to end, even without the council's approval. Brandon, are you okay? I heard Simone ask me. I know she could hear me crying on the phone. I am not. I almost got my mate, and baby killed. I will be there in the morning. Please tell Carter and Cole that I am coming. Tell them that I don't want any trouble, and I don't want to start anything with them. I will just be there to see Raven if she is willing to see me. I also want to get plans together with Cole for the war. We need to take care of Reagan, Graham, and the Peters family. They have done more than enough, and they cannot be allowed to get away with it. I don't care if it is sanctioned, or not. I will ask for forgiveness from the council after I deal with them. But Reagan won't be getting another shot at Raven, ever again, I told Simone. I will text you what they say. I don't want you to get hurt. Alpha Cole is pretty mad, Simone told me. Thank you, Simone. Please let them know that Crew and Truette will be with me. Good night, I told her and got off the phone. At least I knew that Raven was stable. The anger comes over me quickly. How dare Reagan pull this? Did she really think that there would be no payback for her in this? I warned her. I owe her. This is the third time she had crossed the line. I think that she has earned everything that she is about to get. Get packed, we will all be going to Bloodwalker in the morning. We need to earn our mates back, and I wish I could tell you that it is going to be easy, but it will not. I deserve it. I just hope that you two have an easier road of it. But whatever it takes, that is what I am going to do to get Raven back, I told them. We all headed for our empty rooms, and the full weight of my actions settles on me the second I stepped into our room. I stare helplessly at her side of the bed. It has only been a month since she arrived, but her scent already clings to my room. She is supposed to be here with me. She is mine, and yet, I caused this. She begged me to listen to her, my refusal was like a slap in the face. I hurt her because I was weak and sent her away. My chest is squeezing me to death and I grabbed her pillow as I let all the pain of today come out. It was me. I knew how vicious her sister was, and I just assumed my sweet Raven had betrayed me. If I had been in my right mind I would have known. I didn't feel the pain. The pain you feel when your mate sleeps with another. I watched the video, and yet I had never felt any pain to prove my mate had betrayed me. I am a smart man. I should have known right from the start, but I didn't. I am just hoping that her knowing my background will help her to be able to forgive me. To understand that I went right back to the pain of my previous experience, and thought that Raven had betrayed me the same way Liza had. Stella was right, we lumped them all together, branded them guilty, and never listened to a word that any of them said. Why did we do that? Have we gotten so arrogant, that we believe that we cannot make mistakes? Were Crew and Truette just following my lead on this? They didn't listen to their mates either. I think the shock value of the video just pushed us into a really bad place. Made us make some really bad decisions from the jump. This is really bad, they knew we wouldn't just let them go, and they tricked us all. I have to say that I am very impressed, especially with Stella. She is not scared to call an apple an apple. She put me in my place, and she should have. I was totally in the wrong. I should have the same faith in my mate that she had in me. I should have done the same thing that Stella did and looked at the video to disprove it like she did, and it took her like 10 minutes. I just watched it, and believed that my sweet mate was capable of the ultimate deception. Scenting my mate from her pillow is helping to calm me, but then I remember, I need to get her back and quickly. Justin is apparently at Bloodwalker, he fully intends to get her back. He already told me that, he pulled no punches, and he knows what he lost. He wants her back and will do anything to get her back. I am very curious about how he knew where she was. How does he still have any bond at all with her? That isn't supposed to happen. I have heard about twins, or triplets having one bonded mate, but they carry similar DNA. So the children could be said to be theirs, but that was not like this. I have never heard of it occurring with two different, unrelated men being fated to her, at the same time. He gave her up. She is mine now, I will not let her go. I need to find out exactly what is going on here. Maybe I can get some of the elders on it because I am struggling here. I will not let that jerk touch one hair on her head. The only thing that is bringing me any comfort at all, is the fact that Alpha Cole is not a big fan of Justin either. I bet he isn't a big fan of yours either right now. Axe linked me. He is right. You are not helping, at all. We need her back. I need her. Axe, I liked him back. I know we do. You need to make this right, Brandon. You are putting your pride at the front of this, and not looking at the big picture. We need to wait and find out what is going on before you make any big moves. I cannot believe that I am calmer than you are about this. Axe linked back. He is right, but it seems like he is aware of something that I am not. I know that he is close to Emerald, but this secretive stuff is really getting on my nerves. I could not sleep, so I packed a small bag and waited in the lobby. At 7 a.m., I see Crew and Truette exit the elevator and head for me. Did you get any sleep? Crew asked me. None, but I need to see my mate, so I am ready to go, I told them. I got a few hours sleep. I will drive, Truette said, and we all grabbed a breakfast sandwich from the breakfast bar and a bottle of water for the drive. I wanted to go straight to her when we got there, and I didn't want to stop for anything. I fired off the emails about if it was even possible for a phantom bond to exist. I guess anything is possible. We are going to find out. I asked them to reach out to other elders, to try to hear if any of them had heard of it before. I need to know what I am dealing with here. I won't be able to relax, as this whole thing with Justin is very irritating. I know that he still wanted her. That was the entire problem. Anyone watching that video could see it all over his face. He believed that he was with Raven, and he was looking at her with love. He made love to her on the first round in their video, and the love he had for her was written all over his face. He did love and care for her, and that was the most dangerous part. He will not stop. He as good as told me that he wouldn't ever stop at the party, not until he got her back. We pulled up, and I was expecting problems at the gate. I wasn't wrong. We were told to park in the visitors area, outside the gate. Alpha Cole was sent a mind link from the gate guards to advise him that we were here. Yet, he is pissed. We figured it out at the 30-minute mark when he and Beta Timothy finally arrived. I was expecting the looks I got from them. Truette still seemed surprised by the look Beta Timothy gave him. They were both giving off a try me vibe today, but I wasn't here to fight or cause any problems. I am sorry. I am so sorry, Alpha Cole. I love Raven, but seeing her and Justin together in that video, it hurt me on another level. You heard about my scandal 7 years ago. You knew I had baggage from it. Seeing them together, and him so clearly in love with her, hurt me to my core. I just asked her to give me some time, while I dealt with my emotions. I still love and want her. Please let me see her. I came just to see her, and to speak to you about the war with Silver Blade. I cannot allow what they just did to Raven to pass. Reagan needs to die. I cannot allow her, or Graham or the Peters family to come back on Raven ever again. With or without the Council's blessing. I need to get this done, I told Alpha Cole. I agree with you, Brandon. We will be moving forward. I need to tell you though. Justin has not left her side all night. He is still in there with her right now. Do not cause a problem. I allowed it because the doctor told me that she probably wouldn't have made it if we were 15 minutes later than we were. If Justin hadn't made me stop, she would have died last night probably in my arms. He saved Raven's life. She needed 3 full bags of blood last night. Thankfully my blood and Carter's blood were a match. Olivia and Austin's blood were a match too, as they are both O. So we were able to donate for her. She doesn't need to be under any stress right now. Please respect that. I will let you in, but you need to fix this. You broke her faith last night, Brandon, you broke her. I am telling you to tread lightly, and fix this, for both of you. Alpha Cole told me. I nodded in agreement. Whatever it takes, I will do it. I will just keep reminding myself. I remained calm, as we drove over to the Pack Hospital. The closer I got to her room, the more Axe was up and excitedly turning around in my head. I could not wipe the smile off my face as I was about to see her again. It hadn't been a full day apart, and yet this day has been the worst time frame in my life that I can remember. Even worse than what happened with Liza. I walked into her room and saw her lying on the bed, with the machine tracking all her vitals. I have to take a deep breath to steady myself. I go to take a step towards her when I noticed a brown head lying on the blanket covering her. Justin is asleep, and he is holding her hand while they sleep, like she was his lifeline. His head is lying on the side of her mattress, not touching her, just lying next to her legs, but that doesn't make it any better. I tried to hold my growl of displeasure in, I really did. But I couldn't stop it. I watch as my mate's eyes fly open, and her heart rate monitor goes off in alarm. Or if you want to pay for more such audiobooks, you can send us a request in a private Facebook group, or join us on WhatsApp, a link is given in the video description. The rest of the audiobooks will be uploaded in the next episode. Join us on Patreon to listen to more unlimited audiobooks.